This is a phenomena that is going on in this world, that just as nations rise, they also see their doom. They don't always remain at the top. So the words of the Quran are, "Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma bi qawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. Wa iza arada Allahu bi qawmin su, fala maradda lahu wa ma lahum min dunihi min wal." And its translation is that God does not change his dealing with the people unless they themselves change their attitude. And when God decides to afflict a people with a misfortune, none can ward it off. And for such people, there is none who can help them against God. So, God, from his own knowledge and from his own wisdom, he chooses nations and he gives them that superiority. They come at the top. And then God says that as long as they fulfill his covenant, as long as they remain just, as long as they follow the path of truth, God is not going to in any way let them down. And he will not he's not going to make them face their downfall. But if they, after being given this position, they tamper with the laws of God, they are not truthful, they are not just in their collective capacity, then the Almighty says that the rise that they had, that the superiority that they had over above all other nations, they are going to lose it and they're just going to come down with it. And another thing that the Quran has said regarding this very practice also must be understood, and this is actually found in another verse of the Quran, to be exact. This is the 17th surah and its 50th verse. This is Surah Bani Israel. It says, وَإِن مِّن قَرْيَةٍ إِلَّا نَحْنُ مُهْلِكُوهَا قَبْلَ يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ أَوْ مُعَذِّبُوهَا عَذَابًا شَدِيدًا كَانَ ذَلِكَ فِي الْكِتَابِ مَسْطُورًا. In reality, there is no city which we shall not destroy or sternly punish before the day of judgment. This is decreed in the book of God. So these are two things which are mentioned. Either a nation will fulfill its age and it will just vanish from the stage of the earth, which will be like its destruction. And the other form is that it will be sternly punished before the day of judgment. And this actually refers to the nation of the messengers of God. So the nations of the messenger of God, which means the foremost people who are directly in front of him, who are addressed by him, if they intentionally and deliberately deny the truth, then they are punished in this very world. So this practice actually tells us that there are two forms of rise and fall. One form of that rise and fall is that God gives this chance to various nations. They have their rise, and then if they don't maintain their collective justice, their collective stature, then they automatically have a downfall. And the other form is that the direct addressees of God's messengers, they are destroyed in this world if they intentionally deny the truth. So both these practices, they are, you can see them running. And if you look at history, you'll find that uh, the three races that sprung from Noah's three sons, Sam, Ham, and Japheth, all of them have had their rise. I mean, especially if you look at the Hamites were the first to be given this superiority, and these African peoples and most of the people who were born in that continent are the ones that are referred to, and they were the ones who had the rise being experienced for them. And once after their downfall, you'll see that the Semites were the ones who were given this position. They were superior to other nations, and the Semites are the ones from which Prophet Abraham was born, and the Bani Ismail and the Bani Israel, or the Banu Abraham, the progeny of Abraham, they're all Semites, and they also had their chance to rule the world, and they had their chance to be superior. But they also, in a certain period of time, faced a downfall. And now, in the third period of history, the rise of the Japhites, of the Gog and Magog nations, the yellow races like the Chinese and the Mongols, they are the ones who are experiencing their rise. So it seems that this is like a circle which the Almighty has given, that one after the other, every nation will come to the stage and then have a experience a rise and then will be destroyed. So this is working in parallel with the nations of the messengers of God, and we're talking about here their direct addressees, that they are punished in this world if they intentionally deny the message that they have received. So you can see this practice also rampant in God's universe, and you can look at it in history.